If the rest of you are going to let him catch the ball outside the 3-second lane, drive all the way in there without one guy challenging him, then I'm leaving and you guys are going to run till you can't eat supper. Now I'm tired of this baloney. I'm sick and heckin' tired of an 8-10 record. I'm heckin' tired of losing a... Rah, 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 Sky-U-Ma.
Welcome to OPA Podcast. It's Axe Week!
Shut your mouth with that.
It's also Hate Week.
Happy Wisconsin Hate Week, y'all.
Today's hosts are...
Larranz, yay.
Griffin.
Sorry, I'm drinking my tea. Wyatt.
Yeah, you drink a lot of tea.
And Jason. All right, quick over sports recap. Your third ranked and your Big Ten regular season champions women's volleyball is 24-2 overall, 18-0 in the Big Ten. They wrap up their regular season with 2 away games at Penn State and at Rutgers. Next up, your 19th ranked men's hockey.
We're a volleyball school.
We're a volleyball school, yeah.
Yep. So your 19th ranked men's hockey team is 3-5-1 overall, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Their next series is against the Big Ten opponent of Michigan State Spartans at home and 3 Marina at Mariucci this weekend. Your second ranked women's hockey is 11-2 overall, 9-2-1 in the WCHA, beating the Huskies last weekend, sweeping them. Their next series is the Windjammer Classic versus the St. Lawrence Saints on the 23rd, and then either Vermont or Syracuse on the 24th. Next up is men's basketball. They're 3-0 overall, 0-0 in the Big Ten, defeating Texas A&M 69-64 in Vancouver Classic on Sunday night.
That was a gritty win.
Yep. And their next game is on Tuesday tonight against Santa Clara. And then tonight is your 25th ranked women's basketball. I'm sorry. They're 3-0, 0-0 in the Big Ten, defeating San Diego State on Saturday night. And of course tonight is their game versus Cornell. And then women's soccer was defeated by UCLA 5-0. So they had their run, but they're still good. Now next up. Next segment is Hot Takes Post-Northwestern game. We lost 14-24.
Why y'all always look at me as
You got all of them. You got all the hot takes, boy.
Never, okay, well, I can't say never. Anyway, you know, when we started the podcast, we all introduced ourselves, and it was really sad. And I think that might be the sound of knowing that you just gave away your 6th win on Senior Day. For this season, pretty much, it's been our offense that had to keep us in the game. And it's been our defense that was just causing all of these issues for the most of the year. Then Uncle Joe Rosser takes over. And all of a sudden, it's our defense keeping us in the game. And by defense, I mean 20 tackle Blake Cashman and 10 tackle Jacob Huff.
Them grown-ass.
Those seniors left it all on the field that day.
Us in this game, and our offense tried to give the game away. And Northwestern took it. Hot take, Northwestern is not a great team. They are not a great team. But I think Coach Fleck said it best. They are probably one of the only teams in the Big Ten that will not beat themselves.
Yep.
We let them beat us.
Sorry, where's the hot take in here?
I mean, hey, we don't want to disrespect. Oh, well, I already did disrespect Northwestern. I'm about saying they're not a great team. But, I mean, hot take, Muhammad Ibrahim's still the best, and Zach Annexstad should be the starter after the last few weeks. I said I like Tanner Morgan more. But what I've realized is, and this was especially looking back at the Iowa game, as problematic as Zach can be, he could also be just as explosive. For every interception he can throw, he will also throw a touchdown that you're like, what?
So he'll be like 1-1 for touchdown interception ratio.
So I disagree with that because, I was on the Zach train to start with. And now I have switched over to Tanner Morgan because Tanner Morgan, it's mostly because of the escapability. We are not an offense if Zach sits in the pocket and gets sacked.
But And I'm referring more so to, just to be clear, I'm referring more so to healthy Zach Annexstad.
He's got.
So before he got hurt.
Before he got hurt, Zach, I'm going to make a play, Annexstad. And it may be a stupid play, but it's a play he going to
But for the most part, he's playing non-conference games. He started, one Big Ten game?
He started a few.
He started most of them until Nebraska.
Yeah,
Was it
he
Nebraska?
Nebraska was his
He
last
started Nebraska, so he played.
He threw 3 touchdowns
6.5.
against Iowa. How many quarterbacks have thrown 3 touchdowns against Iowa this year?
True.
Not a lot.
No.
Iowa games have not been.
Who got us our 5th win on a 67-yard touchdown to Bateman.
It's Indiana.
Who got us our
don't
first
care.
3?
Against non-conference teams.
Are you going to disrespect Fresno State like that?
Fresno State.
Yeah, I just
Let
did.
him
Yo,
disrespect.
I just
State is
disrespected Fresno State.
Fresno State is easily the best team we've beaten. Okay, no, Purdue was the best team we've beaten.
I was like, what are you on, buddy?
But like,
Are you sure?
yes,
Are you sure?
very much so.
Which one was ranked?
Which one had to play Ohio State and Wisconsin and Northwestern and us and others? Somebody got to play San Diego State and whoever the heck else is in that conference. I don't know.
Nobody.
Boise State is in their Smurf turf, to which they soundly lost. So like I said, Purdue is the best one we played. But close second is Fresno State. And Zach Annexstad wheeled us out of that game. So.
And Antoine.
God.
I heard
come
Larranz.
back. Anyway, that's me.
No, but you mentioned Mohammed, like, you know, he's already a bad man, but he only had, compared to Isaiah Bowser, Isaiah Bowser had 29 carries for 85 yards, so 2.9 average. But you look at Mohammed, he had 20 carries, 98 yards, and it was 4.9.
About 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, he was productive. Yeah.
What does
Yeah, we
Larranz
know.
like to see out of
We watched the game against Ohio State.
Mohammed!
But to be fair, Northwestern has a far better run defense than Ohio State. See the Maryland game. That's entertaining.
But that's
Still not a good
what
team.
killed us that game was the turnovers. Tanner threw 2 interceptions, and then we had 1 fumble that they recovered.
Should have been 2.
Yeah. So was that 3 turnovers? I think the math.
Yeah.
Yep. Ball is the program.
And that's at least 6 points because it happened well in our on Northwestern's part of the field. So we win by 10. That's the Emmett Smith field goal. We have another potential 3 points.
Yep.
Another potential 3 points.
Yep.
And we let Clayton Thorson run for a touchdown. Over 10 yards? Excuse me.
You look like Tom Brady when he running.
Oh, Big Ben against Jacksonville. He's like, ah!
I was like, every time Clayton Thorson runs, it looks like he's gonna trip over just air. Just I'm gonna fall. And I imagine how disrespected you gotta feel as a defense, knowing that you let this lead-footed dude put the game away.
But, you know, I see him running faster than I ever have. Probably because Blake Cashman is on the other side. And he's like,
Wait, I did say last week.
What did you say
About
last
Clayton
week?
Thorson. I said, look, he is not a mobile guy. But I remember I watched that Wisconsin game where he juked 3-4 dudes to get in that end zone. And I said, we might need to watch out for this. Well,
and guess who didn't put a spy on him? The Minnesota Golden Gophers.
you know what? We ain't even going to put... Nope, we are not putting this game on our defense. Our defense played their hearts out.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, fun note. 3rd down, we only allowed 4 for 13 on 3rd down and 0-2 on 4th down. So,
Our
like,
defense played their hearts
yeah.
out. It's fine.
And our seniors left it all on the line, too. Blake Cashman
we
and
know.
Jacob Hutt just left it out there.
If they could please bring that effort into this week, that would be great.
Bring us home the axe!
But this Wisconsin week is Joseph Rossi's real test to how he can run a defense. Because right now, to me, he's just looking like a nice tall glass of Pepsi. Gets the job done short term.
Get it done.
But long term, you want that nice Coke glass with that Tracy Clay's Jerry Kill bite of a defense.
What you wearing right now?
What am I drinking right now?
We're about way in school,
Hard
yo.
school.
We're about way in school, yo. Oh, Lord. You know, if we're able to keep... we'll talk about him later. We'll talk about that demigod later. When you have anything, Wyatt, for this particular game?
I
For
don't.
Wisconsin?
For Northwestern.
No, we're still on Northwestern too.
Hey, can we talk about my boy?
Oh, my God.
Can we talk about... Can we, for
Okay,
once,
You know what?
talk about my
I
boy?
have-
We should just
stats.
cut him.
Jacob Herbers, his longest was 58-yard punt, average 46.3. Yeah.
He's averaging 41.4 yards per punt on the season.
And that
Okay.
game he had 46.3.
And how many of them has he put coffin corner? Plenty.
You know you're a Minnesota fan when the best thing you have to brag about is
Is my punter!
We got Blake Cashman to brag about right now.
Oh, we can brag about it.
That man had more tackles than we had points. Put that into perspective. Our offense, bruh.
Same.
Our offense did not produce, and they did not keep us in that game whatsoever.
No, they tried their hardest to give the game away, in which they did. And I don't want to really take too much away from Northwestern because someone has to be there to pick the ball off. Someone has to catch that ball. Someone has to get around our offensive line. And also, shout out to Donnell Green for being injured again. Hopefully, he will be back this weekend. But once again, we see what happens when Sam Schluter is anywhere on the offensive line.
Wait, that was him? Donnell wasn't playing?
Donnell Green was not player. Neither was Terrell Smith.
Terrell Smith?
Terrell
T-Time?
Smith.
T-Time, yeah.
T-Time was not playing either. So
We had Coney Durr.
he did all right.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah.
Hey,
But,
he picked off Ohio State.
he did pick off Ohio State.
But then you got a targeting call in another game later that.
Nah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But hopefully both of them will be back. You want to move on to...
Okay, before we move on,
team.
who's your Necton then for this game?
Blake Cashman, how is that even a question?
That,
I agree with
look,
that. Blake
I
Cashman.
see the point.
Look, I will give Tyler Johnson some credit because we should appreciate him on being a 1,000-yard receiver.
Whoa! When was the last time that happened?
Eric Decker.
Quite quietly.
It
he
is
put
the
up his
quietest
1,000-yard season.
1,000-yard season I've ever heard of.
And I like it. And we have one more game to help his stats. So
True.
But Blake Cashman deserves all the love.
For Necton.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is when he came out on the field and started tackling people.
His name is John Cena.
You know who's looking like John Cena on the first drive? Muhammad Ibrahim. Like he smacked him to the...
That wasn't Muhammad Ibrahim. Who was that? That was
Muhammad!
Woo! Oh God, I love Muhammad Ibrahim. I just want everyone to just think about the fact that next year he's gonna be the third dude on the depth chart. That's terrifying. Anyway, so
Any Big
No,
Ten,
actually, though,
any Big Ten defense.
in the press conference, though, Mohammed did lose someone close to in his life last week before the game. And he wasn't at, 100% emotionally, too.
But he still
But he
played
still
like
played.
a boss.
still put that
That man
work
balled.
in.
He's a grown man.
And it's the amount, because he doesn't have the natural breakaway speed that Rodney Smith has,
Nope.
or the vision that Rodney has.
Nope.
God, we miss Rodney, don't we? Yes, we do. He doesn't have, frankly, the strength, the pure strength that Shannon Brooks has.
No.
But
He's an animal on his own.
But this man,
Tell me
he plays with, when PJ Fleck talks about like the how, this man just doesn't want to go down.
No.
He will hit you. You will take those hands, rated E for everyone, and you will sit down.
Yeah.
And I love that. And Northwestern was
And
a quality defense.
And he's a pile pusher too.
Sorry, what's that man's
You see
name?
his legs churning,
What's
and
that
he will
man's
push.
name?
What?
Come on. Sorry.
That's all I want.
All right.
That's all I want.
I had to get that one more time.
All right. So next segment, Wisconsin against the Wisconsin Badgers. So they're currently 7-4 overall, 5-3 in the conference.
And Pat Fitzgerald thinks they're disrespected.
You remember when Wisconsin lost to the Mormons?
BYU.
You remember when Akron beat Northwestern?
True. Oh,
You remember when we lost to Illinois? I think that's almost as bad as losing to Akron and BYU. I think so. It's fine.
That might be worse.
so ESPN has us winning by 16.6%, and the betting pool is at -10 on Wisconsin.
So they
Yeah.
have us losing.
Yep.
Let's
Good.
not God. They have us winning.
Yeah.
They have us losing.
You know, here's my thing. I thought going into this last weekend, I said, if we can beat Northwestern, we can beat Wisconsin. We could have beaten Northwestern. And I think we could beat Wisconsin if it weren't for the fact that this weekend something beautiful happened. Because the week prior they played Penn State and got, well, soundly beat by Penn State. And I think that part of the reason why is because Alex Hornibrook, or Mitch Leitner Part 2, went down. And so they had to put Jack Cohn in. And they realized very quickly that somehow they found a quarterback that was even less competent than Alex Hornibrook. But then, Alex Hornibrook is not a great quarterback, y'all. Anyway,
Yeah, we know.
Sorry, Alex Hornibrook's not a good quarterback.
there you go. Anyway, and so this last week against Purdue, I watched something that I didn't expect to see. Well, not that I didn't expect to see it, but I was waiting to see how long it would take Wisconsin to realize this. They still have one man on that team. One man, well, I think calling him a mere man would be disrespectful. They have this one demigod on their team who single-handedly, and I don't use that lightly, single-handedly beat Purdue by himself.
Jonathan
He needed
Taylor.
2 feet.
Anyway, Jonathan Taylor, 300 plus yards on Purdue's defense. Him by himself. There's something to be said about a defense that knows you're going to run it, loads the box, and you still average 10 yards a carry. There's something to be said about them loading the box so bad that they gave up 2 touchdowns and no interceptions to Jack Cohn because they were so afraid of Jonathan Taylor, and it didn't matter because he still beat them by himself. That's what we have to go up against this weekend. Now the good
At Camp Randall.
yeah, Camp Randall. Of course, BYU did beat Wisconsin at Camp Randall, so I don't. That's all I'm saying. But like when I look at this game, like I looked at the Purdue game versus Wisconsin, what did I learn? You can score points on Wisconsin. We can score points on Wisconsin. Their defense, kind of like ours, is especially on the back end because Connolly is a scary dude. But on the back end and their secondary, Eagles fly together. Yes, Griffin. On their back end, they are nicked up. They are young. And we got some dudes who can eat. Now,
you
if
want to say Philly?
no, if Rashad Bateman could catch the ball this weekend, that would be greatly appreciated, as opposed to just dropping balls that hit you in the chest. You know, and you messing up Tanner Morgan's completion percentage. Anyway, but yeah, that's.
What was the final score of the Purdue-Wisconsin game?
47-44.
47-44, yeah. In triple overtime.
Okay.
Ask Maryland about overtimes.
Remember when Maryland almost put Ohio State in their grave, and then
Remember when Maryland scored on 2 plays and they decided to go for 2? Larranz, how did that turn out again?
When you have a worse quarterback than Connor Rhoda and Demery Croft on your sideline, and you decide you're going to go in and have him play anything where you're going to throw the ball, I have to question your sanity just a little bit. Because you knew you had this man who I believe was averaging something like 14-something yards a carry, and you decide that you going to put in, what's his name? What's his name? Does anybody actually know their quarterback's name?
What was it?
Google does.
Brigham Hill and...
it wasn't Brigham Hill. Kasem Hill, and who else
Kasem
was
Hill
it?
and...
Yeah, it's Kasem Hill.
Who's the second one?
Terrell Pigram?
Pigram.
Yeah, it was Kasem
Hill or Pigram?
Piggy.
Oh, Piggy. Because
It's
you know
Piggy.
what happens when you decide that you're going to screw up the game by just having your quarterback throw? This is what happens. And that's why you run the ball. Anyway, I'm good.
Back to Wisconsin.
Back to y'all.
Seattle hat, huh? I'm running the ball?
It's okay. We're fine. We're all fine.
So what
Nope.
keys of the game then to win for Wisconsin?
Offense.
What elaborate?
Seth Green.
Can we actually use more of our tight ends? Because did we ever use any of them during the Northwestern game?
Nah. No. We do not like to disguise them as blockers and let them run free. Like the Purdue game, Paulson. Let's do that again, please. Kirk, are you listening to me?
Or Brevin Spanforth.
I'm pretty sure Kirk Sharaka
Bryce
ain't
Witham?
listening to you.
No, he ain't.
Really?
But he's still doing good stuff. I'll go.
Keys to the game, there's a bad man in that backfield.
There's a lot of bad men.
There's a lot of bad men in that backfield.
In the backfield in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
there's one particularly bad man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
promise it's not
Definitely
the
ain't the
quarterback.
quarterback.
His name is Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, we've talked
And
about him
he
before.
Must be stopped. How many yards he get last week?
303.
Too many?
How many?
Too many for our defense.
Better question. How many yards does he need to break the record?
He need about 413 yards to break Melvin Gordon's record.
He better not even come close.
So just to be more specific, he ran 321 yards against Purdue, averaging 9.7 yards per carry and 3 touchdowns.
Bro.
Okay. So
He's a man who must be stopped at all costs.
Yeah, we know.
here's my thing. You're not stopping. You're not stopping Jonathan Taylor.
No, that's not truly stopping.
Unless you do whatever voodoo that Northwestern did. To just say
Well, we
he's going
better
nowhere.
ask them nicely what voodoo you do.
But what I think you can do is you can turn this into a BYU game. They let Jonathan Taylor get his yards. He had like 145 on him. That's fine. Let him get his yards. Stop him in the red zone. If you can keep Wisconsin to field goals, because they are not an explosive offense at all. Their wide receivers are really talented, but they are very inconsistent.
And
Keep them to
remind me
field
who their
goals.
quarterback is.
It looks like it may be one Jack Cone.
Connor Rhoda Light.
Indeed.
Jack Cohn, I think, has a was it 5 yards an attempt? So
Dink and dunk. Dink.
So
and dunk.
they may have talented receivers, but he ain't got a talented arm. He looking like Tom Brady. Everyone's like, "Oh, Tom Brady's the GOAT. Oh my God, he's the..." And he just throws it to like Deion Lewis, like anyone else in the backfield 5 yards, and then they run and get the first down.
You know, Tom Brady would put up his left hand to slap you, but it's covered with rings, so it's heavy.
I was going to say, are you disrespecting Tom Brady on our program?
Yeah, I did.
Look, I don't even like Tom Brady, but I ain't gonna disrespect the man. I'm gonna give him his Mountain Dew anyway. And my other thing is, look, so they've proven, Purdue showed, well, pretty much everyone in the Big Ten, hell, Rutgers showed that you can score on this team. So my thing is, my hopeful message that will reach telepathically into Kirk Sharaka's head, because BYU did this as well.
PJ, if you're listening, you better tell Kirk to start.
No,
Kirk has me listening right now.
Kirk, this is for Kirk. Every trick in the book. You do not get a second chance at this. Every trick in the book, throw it out there.
This might be the only game where I'd actually like to see run, pass. Why? Because of their nicked up defense in the back. So you open up the pass game with Muhammad.
But I ask you, wouldn't you rather open up the run game with their pass game? With our pass game, because you know that their back end is weak. So you force them to pull their safeties back into coverage.
What?
Here was our memory.
Well,
Larranz
there will
has
be
talked
no
so
video.
much the past couple of weeks that we ran out of video space.
That's great.
Man.
Well, no. You know that their secondary is not great. If we can get consistent passing,
Right.
opening it up quickly, then we can run it.
Right.
Because what Wisconsin's going to do is what they do in every freaking game they've ever played in the history of Wisconsin, which is they're going to do ball control, ground and pound. What is their offense not equipped to do? Fight back into a game. That is not what their offense is made for. Their offense is made for, we are going to first get ahead, then we are going to take as much time off the clock as humanly possible. I think the last time I read, I think we lead the Big Ten. This scared me. We lead the Big Ten in explosive passing plays. We average like 14 yards a pass.
Really?
Yeah. Did not know that.
Thank you, Rashad. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Crab.
And it's funny because we do it on the same crossing route.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like when we open up the pass game because of the run, we have 3 great receivers.
And Seth Green has caught everything we threw at him so far.
Yeah,
That's all
what,
I'm
2
saying.
passes?
Hey, he caught them both. He caught them both.
For what, 5 yards? But
Yeah,
he
I'm
got
like,
him. But
look, against Purdue, we did the trick play, the Tanner Morgan to Tyler Johnson, throw it down to Rashad Bateman. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it again.
you know what? Instead of that, first play of the game, you put in Seth Green. And
We said this last week.
I know.
Backfield?
Put in Jacob Herbert
Just for
and
the-
have him throw the ball.
Okay.
For the whole
him.
first drive, and Wisconsin be like,
They're like, wait, what?
is he gonna run? Oh, it's right.
gonna run?
He can pass too. He was recruited as a quarterback.
He's a higher rated quarterback recruit than either of our starters. Hello, anyway. And he big. So he ain't going now.
And he's
The
not
green
an
line's
arm.
going to come through.
The Green Line train to downtown your end zone. That's because The good thing that we have going for us is Wisconsin doesn't have a resume that they need to like play for. You remember when we thought they were going to the playoffs? They don't.
Playoffs?
Oh,
Don't talk about playoffs.
No, Lee Corso had them winning the national title this year.
Lee Corso. I don't trust Lee Corso as far as I can throw. Lee Corso.
He said Wisconsin, and the Big Ten said, okay. Actually, screw that. The Mormons said, mm-mm. So, yeah.
Hey, remember when the Florida-Georgia game happened and Lee Corso disrespected Georgia by picking Florida?
They did get mollywopped by Georgia, so... And it was at the Swamp, so...
Yeah.
And Dan Mullen, so... Anyway.
back to Wisconsin. So offense put everything out on the field.
Yep. Defense do what they do.
Defense
We
do what
don't
they
have
do.
to stop him.
And we
gotta
can't open
slow
up the
him
run too.
down.
That'll confuse him.
Or at
too.
least
Do
keep
a
him
little
off the
bit of
red
both.
zone.
We got to keep
Take
him
it.
under 413 yards.
Homie, we trying to win the game.
That's how they win games.
Homie, we ain't worried about, because look, if that's our goal, I think they won. That was against number 16 Nebraska, and they beat them like 51-10. Look, if we try to keep them under 400 yards, that means we already losing by 30 points, and I ain't trying to do that.
Hot take, you heard it here first. We keep them under 100.
100 yards rushing.
Oh yeah.
You out of your mind.
What?
Oh.
But do we win? Because if we
No.
Jack Cone is gonna beat us.
No. Our offense is going to lose the game for us again.
Okay, I'm like, you will not disrespect us and say that Jack Cone's gonna be. Watch Jack Cone throw for 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. But no, you will not disrespect our defense and say that Jack Cone's gonna beat us.
That's why I said offense.
Yeah.
All right, then what's your predictions then?
Oh man.
You guys will hate me for this. I'm
okay.
saying win. We're going to win
What?
34-3.
You can leave.
31 big boys.
You can leave.
All right, bye.
Oh, he has faith. You will not.
I want the axe to come home.
He has faith, y'all.
We haven't had it since 06.
03.
03.
This is how you gonna sound it.
31-24 Wisconsin.
That's
Okay.
bold.
That's bold. Okay.
Oh, you want me to go next?
Yeah, we want you to go next.
35-17 Wisconsin.
That was
Wow.
pretty close to what I was gonna say. Usually I had 38-20. Wisconsin.
That's almost
had it.
exactly the same.
Yeah,
score.
that's what I said.
Just gives Herbers one more chance to hold.
You need to stop.
I will not stop until he wins the Ray guy.
But I
Then
will
I'll shut up.
But I will say this: if we were miraculously, no, I'm not even gonna say under 100. If we were able to keep Jonathan Taylor under around 130 yards, I think we win. I think
You
we
keep
win.
him under 150.
Does our running back do the same thing though? If he puts up over 100,
If he puts up over 100 yards, that means
and he is in Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Okay.
Is it Muhammad?
Or is
Muhammad.
it Muhammad? No.
Right now it's just Muhammad. Let him
Let him do it.
let him
Let him
earn
eat.
let him earn the other
Let
one.
him do it. But I mean, like if he's able to run like that, if he's able to run like he ran against Northwestern, and say for some reason our wide receivers decide to
Have no
not
hands.
drop balls this week,
Matt Simon, I'm calling.
if we can get a performance out of Rashad Bateman like he had against Illinois, that was when Tyler Johnson got hurt. To be
Or
fair,
Indiana.
And then Ty
Or
Johnson to
Indiana.
be Ty Johnson.
No, I mean, if against Illinois, Rashad Bateman had like 175 yards, and Tyler Johnson got hurt, so he couldn't help it. So if you can have, basically everything has to click to beat Wisconsin. Load the box if they're gonna get you over the top. If you're gonna leave your safeties on an island.
If you
I
see
will
an
take
I
that.
formation, you load the box.
If you see an I formation, yes, everybody. Because that often, because we talk a lot about Jonathan Taylor, but what we need to be talking about is those 5 men
In the trenches?
who is sitting right there in them giants, the 5 Daniel Fa'aleles.
Here's the thing. Purdue might have loaded the box with 9 guys, but they didn't have a bad man named Blake Cashman.
That's fair.
20 tackles?
And a
Yeah,
Jacob
20
Huff.
tackles. With
Jacob Huff?
10.
Well, Jacob Huff ain't gonna.
I mean, Blake Cashman is the same one who missed every single possible tackle against, what's his name? Reggie Bush? Not Reggie Bush.
Reggie Corbin.
Corbin.
Man, wait, hold on. We had Reggie
Who that?
Corbin looking
Who
like
that?
Reggie Bush.
Who that
that
name?
name?
Which Reggie Bush?
You know what's happening. Yeah, so can we go into some
Hot takes.
The West hot takes.
You want to talk about the West?
You want to talk about the West?
I want to talk
Let's
about
talk
the
about
West
the
next year.
East.
I
I want
don't
to talk
care.
about the East.
I don't
Because there's a big game going on this week.
I don't care
And how
about that
dare
game.
you disrespect the likes of a Michigan-Ohio State game for the Big Ten East Championship?
No, I'm more so concerned. I think this week, I look at the game that I care about even more so than Michigan Ohio State, and that is the Nebraska Iowa game.
Ooh.
Huh.
Here's the reason why. For the first time in my life, and probably the only time in my life, I am rooting for Iowa to beat the crap out of Nebraska.
Oh, Lord Jesus, yes.
I'll support that.
I need them to beat the crap out of Nebraska. And here's the reason why. When you look at next year, and this is why I said I want to talk about the West next year, it has always been a presumed thing that it's Wisconsin and everyone else. This year, as it has been proven, psych.
It is no longer Wisconsin.
It is
and
not
everybody
Wisconsin
else.
and everyone else.
Remind me who won the Big Ten West this year?
Pat Fitzgerald. So what I'm saying is, looking at next year, I think at what's coming back, because Wisconsin's bringing back Jonathan Taylor. I think they lose a few of their offensive linemen, but they bring back Jonathan Taylor.
They're all draft prospects, too.
They're all draft prospects. They also bring back, they're bringing in a very talented quarterback. Northwestern next year is bringing in a 5-star quarterback named Hunter Johnson. You may remember him from Clemson. They're bringing that in. Nebraska's bringing back Adrian Martinez, and as much as I hate Nebraska, Adrian Martinez is a grown man.
With the J.D. Spielman.
Illinois is bringing back. They're not bringing back their quarterback, but they are bringing in also a 5-star athlete who's going to be a quarterback more than likely. And then you have us bringing back our 4 horsemen of running backs, all our wide receivers, our offensive line, most of our defense minus one, Blake Cashman. And so what I never want to happen is for hype to run into the offseason. If Iowa wins, it's business as usual. If Nebraska wins, we will never hear the end of it. Ever hear the end of it.
Of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. They won't shut up. They will not shut up if they win this game.
They're already not shutting up, and they only
They're
have
not.
3.
They think they've won the Super Bowl, and they beat an anemic Michigan State team without all of their wide receivers.
A Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune-Cookman and us with an injured quarterback, and our actual quarterback currently, Tanner Morgan, didn't come in until the second half, to which he scored 22 unanswered points. Anyway, should have been
And
28.
had a Rob
if it-
Smith of a defensive
and
coordinator.
a Rob Smith's defensive coordinator. Oof. Like, they won't shut up, and that's why I'm saying I am rooting Iowa. Please do not let Nebraska beat you all this weekend. Because I will say, I'm saying this, if Nebraska wins this weekend, I think they win the West next year.
They're a good threat.
Because if they don't win, I think we win the West next year. We are...
Really?
With everything we bring back, the schedule gets easier.
Oh, true. We don't have Ohio State next
We
year.
don't.
We got a Penn State team that's struggling.
Penn State team without Trace McSorley.
A Fresno State
Rutgers.
without Keyshawn Johnson.
And Marcus
And-
McMarion.
Yeah.
Oh, Rutgers.
We get Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Oh, Art. Anyway,
Hey,
Chris!
shout out to Rutgers.
Who's the
Thank
third
you.
Big Ten East team that we're playing?
we're playing Maryland again, but we get them at home.
We got Maryland again?
Yep, but it's not the fourth game of the season, so
Antoine
Antoine
can-
Winfield is safe.
He's been cursed on that fourth game of the season with
He's-
Maryland.
He's been cursed, and that's what I'm like. There are games that determine the future in the Big Ten, but especially in the West. I thought we had the future if we were able to beat Northwestern. If we beat Northwestern, I say I don't care what happens this weekend, but
Wait.
because of that.
Hold on. What if Nebraska does beat Iowa, but we step into Camp Randall and we beat Wisconsin?
Stop with that nonsense.
Now, wait, hold on.
Hey, hold on. I posed it as a hypothetical. You shut your mouth.
As I walk out, by out. But if that happened, we win in the West. Oh, because the ship, even though Northwestern won the West this year, there's no one who isn't saying that the West still belongs to Wisconsin.
True.
The West belongs to Wisconsin. And then behind Wisconsin, it's Iowa. Northwestern won, and everyone's like the two best teams in the West, Wisconsin and Iowa. And it's not even close. So I'm like, but if we beat Wisconsin, I don't care. Nebraska can beat them by 40, but if we beat Wisconsin, first of all, build a statue to Joe Rossi. Not PJ Flake. Build a statue to Joe Rossi.
Uncle Joe.
And Kirk Shiraka.
Please do.
Because they just earned a 27,000-year extension.
All right, folks. Larranz is leaving. He has other commitments, so.
I'm out this.
But we'll be continuing the podcast with myself, Griff, and Wyatt for a few more minutes, and then we'll wrap
Yeah,
up from
because
there.
Larranz don't want to talk about Michigan, Ohio State, and I'd like to say a few words.
Ohio State by 10.
Oh!
You for real? Of course not. Michigan gonna put a mud hole in Urban Meyer. Michigan gonna cause Urban Meyer to have health problems again.
And then leave, right?
And then leave. And you know where he's going? USC.
Them some hot takes.
All right. Any more hot takes from y'all?
Does it have to relate to Minnesota?
Not
No.
anymore?
Washington
nuts.
State will go off against Washington this weekend.
Ooh.
Where are they ranked?
Washington State, that good old Wazoo's number 8, and the good old Washington Huskies at 16.
I don't
But-
think they're going off, but I think they're coming home with a sound win. Washington is headed back to campus after a sound whooping from Tracy Clay's defense.
Okay. Do you know Gardner Minshew? You know who he is? Wazoo's quarterback. Currently has a 70% completion percentage. 4,325 yards and 36 touchdowns. That man is in the running for the Heisman. He came in at a great time for a Wazoo team. Do not disrespect my man.
I'm not gonna
Wazoo by
disrespect that.
20.
I don't think
By
Washington
20.
State needs to take it by 20. I think they can take it by a comfortable 10.
Comfortable time.
Wazoo,
Nah.
man.
Yeah.
It was.
They got that
Nah.
Tracy Clay's defense.
Mike Leach got that team on lock, and they going off.
All
Right.
right, Griff.
No,
That's it.
That's it. So, did you guys watch the Monday night game last night?
Oh, of course. At least the second half.
We want to talk about that now.
Yeah.
LeBron's already left the room. I can't rip him to shreds for what he said to me last night.
What did he say to you?
He told me that Kareem Hunt was a better running back
Todd
than
Gurley.
the tandem Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram over in New Orleans.
Oh.
How dare you disrespect that tandem over in New Orleans? That is the best offense in the league.
So then,
And the Rams,
so if it came down to it, so for the NFC, who would you think would represent the NFC then in the Super Bowl?
The
New
Saints.
Orleans.
The
New
Saints.
No doubt in
As
my
much as I
mind,
hate
the
to
Rams
say it-
ain't running through New Orleans.
No.
They
And
got a great football team out there.
And LA's defense got exposed last night.
True.
I understand they're playing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hold on. They got exposed a couple weeks ago when New Orleans stepped into the house and won.
That's very true. That's very true.
But also, I
Don't disrespect Uncle Drew.
just want Uncle Drew to win the Super Bowl. He only has one ring, right? Technically.
There are other people who I'd love to see win the Super Bowl.
You know, I'd like to see Drew Brees win, but it's the guy running the show that I don't want to see with
Sean
another.
Payton?
I don't want to say his name. I don't want to see him with a Super Bowl.
There's one quarterback in this league who I want more than any other quarterback to win a Super Bowl. His name
Teddy
is
Bridgewater?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
He's out of this league in 3-4 years,
He's
maybe.
around the age of Breeze and Brady, right?
He's a little bit younger than Breeze.
He's still an old man, though.
He's still an old man, and he's just not going to make
He has
as
a
far
ton
as
of
them.
kids, though.
He got
Yeah, we
8,
know.
and he's planning on more.
36.
That man might be your real father. You don't know. I would. That is the quarterback out of Los Angeles that I want to see win a Super Bowl. Not
Before he
not
retires.
Jared Goff.
And
I'd love to
he's-
see him take the Super Bowl before he retires, and I think he's got a team that might just be capable of doing it this next couple of
Did
years.
anyone
So-
see LA coming out with the season like they're having right now?
the Chargers?
Yeah.
I was incredibly disappointed when they lost to Denver on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that was their worst game of the season.
No,
I think.
That's okay. I
they
got
put up 22 points. Denver had to win it on last second field goal. The Chargers have had terrible luck in the 4 or 5 years that I've been a big fan of them. On the last second field goal. And that hasn't reared its ugly head this year until Denver.
Then my question is, so of course, we all want to see the quarterbacks Breeze and Phillip Rivers get another Super Bowl, or at least Phillip Rivers get one.
I'd love to see Rivers.
I mean,
get his.
But
So Tom Brady's
question-
41,
but my
and Phillip
question
Rivers
is-
is 36. I mean, Phillip Rivers still, if you wanted, could go at least 5 more years.
he ain't making it as far as Tom Brady.
He's not.
He ain't making it as far as Drew Brees.
his health is not as great as it used
He's
to be.
not in as good a shape. He's been injured way more often than either of them.
But then my question is, Matt Ryan's also up there in age, is he?
Matt Ryan ain't deserve a Super Bowl.
You don't think he does?
Matt Ryan's way too inconsistent.
I think he deserves it because he's
No, I don't.
Matt Ryan has Julio Jones.
and the Mohamed Sanu and the Devontae Freeman.
Julio Jones is the only name I need to throw out there. Julio Jones is one of the best 3 wide receivers in this league.
Who plays defense? If you saw last week, he did not actually play on the defensive side, but Matt Ryan, who does not deserve a Super Bowl, threw up a terrible pass that was about to be intercepted, and Julio went full defense and smacked that out of his hands and said,
You not
incomplete
doing that.
pass.
Phillip Rivers is a quarterback I'd like to see get his.
I'll agree to that.
Quite frankly, I don't even know why Atlanta signed him, Matty Ice, to a 3-year, 90 mil?
Did they do that after their Super Bowl season?
Was that last year, I think?
Last year, it was after the Super Bowl season.
They locked him up for like 3 more years, and I'm just like,
Phillip Rivers over in Los Angeles, he got Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is an elite wide receiver. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, he is.
But
He is a very
Melvin
disrespected
Gordon is
wide
also a
receiver.
really good running back.
Melvin Gordon's
and
also
a receiver,
hold
too.
on. Let's give Phillip Rivers his respect, because before he had Keenan Allen, what was he doing with Antonio Gates at tight end? You know how good the tight end position is in this league? The only tight end that we talk about being the predominant receiver on their team anymore. Maybe Gronk?
He's still questionable for this next weekend, though.
I said maybe. There are a couple of men in New England that can catch the football now.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers made Antonio Gates, and Antonio Gates helped make Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is making Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen is helping build Phillip Rivers.
Wait, so would you rather, in the Super Bowl, see the Chargers and the Saints duke it out?
I'd love it. Bring Drew back to play against the Chargers.
Ooh.
I love it except for the fact that the Saints would win.
True.
You
I
think
feel
so?
bad for the Chargers.
Oh,
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
The Super Bowl is a
100%
whole nother animal.
I'd put a lot of money on that.
The Super Bowl is a whole nother animal. And we've seen some upsets.
Yeah.
You remember when the Giants took down the Patriots twice?
Yeah, but that already happened.
Yeah, but they took them down twice. And they were serious underdogs both times. It's happened, Griff.
I know.
And you think, first of all, the Chargers are not going to make it as a 1 through 4 seed. They are going to make it to the playoffs as a wild card team. So, them coming out of the 5 seed, they'll get, gosh, over there in the AFC, it's probably whoever wins the AFC South, ain't it?
That's a crap show.
See, they'll either get Pittsburgh or they'll get probably Indianapolis. The Chargers can beat either of those teams. Out of that, they probably
What about the
end
Texans?
up going,
The Texans are 7-3. No?
Don't you dare disrespect Andrew Luck right now.
He
Man
actually
hasn't been hit in 4 games.
He actually has an offensive line this time.
But
I mean, Deshaun
After
Watson and
that-
Andrew Luck are both on comeback seasons, though.
let's see. They probably get the 1 seed because the 3 seed probably won't go down. And that makes them play the Chiefs or the Patriots. Those are both winnable football games.
Yeah.
Los Angeles can go to the AFC Championship.
They could.
They could go to the Super Bowl if they want to. They gotta want it.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers don't have much left in the tank. It's time to want it now, Anthony Lynn.
Is that their head coach?
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember when he was a running back coach at Buffalo? Remember when Chris Ivory was running the football like nobody's business out in Buffalo?
Success can come from the Mac, people.
True.
Success can't come from a Mac.
Jerry Kill.
PJ Fleck.
We're getting there.
We're
getting there.
We're getting
there.
there.
We'll get there.
Take time. It takes time.
We're patient fans, I think.
Any more hot takes?
I don't think it's a hot take, but the Minnesota fan base kind of sucks.
I would agree with that.
Let me.
When
There was a very savage tweet out there that says, who is this? DMHGO4. He says, they draw more fans for an Eden Prairie High School game.
that's true.
Yep. And this is not a Gopher fan, right?
I don't even know. I think he probably is.
If he is.
Given that the last 3 letters and numbers were GO4, Gopher. But it hurts, but it's true.
Hey, you want my hot take? I want to go back to the Big Ten East. There are 2 teams that know what they're playing for.
Michigan and Ohio State.
And
But Michigan's got that game on lock.
I think Michigan doesn't want to lose.
No.
And I think Ohio State probably wants to win.
Ooh.
Well, my hot take,
But,
Ohio State taking this one.
Oh.
what?
Oh, what? I'm agreeing with Larranz. Michigan's coming out on top.
Yeah, Michigan. Oof.
Ohio State knows what they need.
I don't
No,
even
it
think
is that-
I don't
no.
even think Michigan is going to
You are
prepare
not-
for Dwayne Haskins. They're just
You
going to
are
let him be and
not-
pick him off.
Going to the Big Ten Championship. You're definitely not going to the college football playoffs if you don't come out of that game with a win. Both of these teams are 10-1 right now.
But
Yeah,
Ohio
but-
State knows what they're playing for.
No, but
Michigan
then-
knows
But
what
Ohio
they're
State's a
playing
dumpster
for.
fire. And by the way, they are the only team that can be considered a dumpster fire at 10-1.
But the thing is that if Ohio State wins
And Michigan's only loss
and Michigan
is Notre Dame.
is going to be their second loss of the season.
I
think they won't put a Big Ten school in the college football playoffs. And I already hate how some things are already going for the Big Ten.
You want to tell me they won't put an 11-1 Ohio State in the college football playoffs? Who are they going to put in their place?
They won't. They're
If
going to
that
put Ohio
happens,
State.
Alabama's going to make it.
Clemson's
going to make it.
Notre Dame's
going to make it.
and Oklahoma.
You think Oklahoma's going to go over an 11-1 Ohio State team?
Probably.
It's possible.
What's Oklahoma at?
I mean, what are they
What's
at?
their record?
What's their record?
I have no idea.
Because, like, my hot take, I don't want to see the college football playoffs expand to, like, 6 or 8 teams. The 4 teams is fine. It's just that the way how they've been selecting teams the last couple of years has just been, like, whack, and I didn't like it. But last year was like, okay, it was fun. Georgia versus Alabama for the national title. But, like, come on. There needs to be more, like, discussion. I know why Ohio State didn't get in last year because they lost to Oklahoma at home and then get wrecked by Iowa.
Oklahoma Sooners are 10-1.
And who they got?
Who they got left? West Virginia, 13th ranked.
So they're going to play West Virginia. And then they probably got to play West Virginia again.
Yeah.
You really think the Sooners are walking out with less than 2 losses?
You know what? I could see him. I could see him winning.
You think
I can see him winning.
Oklahoma Sooners are beating West Virginia twice?
They have a Heisman candidate quarterback. And a coach named Lincoln Riley being their play caller.
Their only loss is to Texas. And
Texas isn't a good football team.
Exactly.
Hey, Texas is back, people.
Huh?
No, they're not.
Tell me now that you would take a 11-2 Oklahoma Sooner team over I'll say it now, 12-1 Ohio State team.
I'm saying that I won't take them. I want a Big Ten team to get into the college football playoff, either Michigan or Ohio State. But the thing is that committee, I don't know.
Do you think the committee will take a 11-2 Sooner team over a 12-1 Ohio State team?
Possibly, unless Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship.
That's what I'm saying. Whoever wins this Michigan-Ohio State game is going to win the Big Ten championship. Northwestern won't shoot themselves in the foot, but they don't need to for those 2 teams to go in and run all over them. Michigan and Ohio State are the best 2 teams in the Big Ten.
And Michigan's going to win.
I don't care if you think Ohio State's a dumpster fire. They are one of the best 2 teams in the Big Ten. And this is the week that we will see who the Big Ten champion is.
All right.
And whose defense cannot produce right now? Ohio State's.
Do you think they're going to show up to a big game like this?
Michigan's defense is going to show up to a game like this.
I know Michigan's going to show up. But don't count Ohio State out. Don't do it.
I'm not saying 100% they're going to cut them out. I'm saying Michigan's just going to have more than enough to...
There are 3 people around this table who would take Michigan over Ohio State no matter what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, to me, this game's a coin toss. Ohio State don't want to lose like this.
But they will.
Urban Meyer doesn't want to lose like this.
But he will.
Don't count Ohio State out. There's my hot take.
All right. Is that it?
That's about it.
All right. Thank you to all the listeners for tuning in. Larranz already left early. You're just tuning in now. But we're going to wrap this up. Your hosts today are Larranz, who just left. Myself, Jason.
I'm Wyatt.
And Griffin, who actually predicted Syracuse to upset Notre Dame last week.
Big
And they said, Griffin, stop disrespecting us. You wrong most. Bye.
All right. Please tune in for another episode. We may do a special for National Signing Day or other Gopher Sports, but stay tuned for more episodes
Why
in
not
the
the
future.
Big Ten Championship?
And the Big Ten Championship.
Let's do the Big Ten Championship.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
But also, happy Thanksgiving. Have a fun day going on Black Friday shopping and on Thursday night and Cyber Monday. And also, it's Hate Week. It's Axe Week.
Let's get the axe!
We're beating the Badgers. Bye.